Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mud, Blood, and Mother's Milk, our podcast on slavery in San Antonio. Today, we have the great honor and privilege of learning about the work of Gabriella Parra. She is a senior on the teacher track here at St. Mary's history major. She's done great work for many semesters, and we've all benefited from her past contributions, including the best analysis that I've ever seen on the Navarros as participants in the legislation on the law of contracts. Today, Gabriella is sharing her work on street names in San Antonio with that are linked to enslavers. And she's passed her certification tests and she's starting her student teaching in the spring. So a lot of young people in San Antonio will be lucky to have Gabriella Parra as their instructor. Welcome, Gabriella. What have you got for us today?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited. Yes, so I have my project, I entitled it The Streets of Enslavers, San Antonio Street Names Named After Enslavers. It's pretty much a mapping project. I'll show you right now. I have a map filled with streets that are highlighted, and then accompanying that, I have all the evidence that they were enslavers. And so pretty much I hope that my project can help contextualize San Antonio's slave history. Um, and I feel as though being a San Antonian myself, that a lot of San Antonians probably don't realize how much San Antonio is connected to the history of slavery in Texas. And I think my project will help visualize that in a very neat way. Yes.
Wonderful.
Um, So going on to kind of big moments in my research, I guess starting out, there are just so many street names, right, in San Antonio. And so that was really daunting, just kind of thinking of how am I going to work through all of these street names, see who they're connected with, and then verify if those people were enslavers or not. So I was it was just, I guess, daunting is the best word I could use. But once I got to mapping all of the streets, my passion for it was just completely reinvigorated. It was definitely very exciting to see what could be of the final project. And so for my sources on this project, I use the Bexar County tax assessment rolls. I use the slave schedules from the 1850 and 1860 census. I also used Ed Johnson's book, African Americans in Bexar County Deed Records from 1823 to 1865, just to see those bills of sale that he already compiled so nicely. And then finally, I used David P. Green's book, Place Names of San Antonio plus Bear and surrounding counties to find who the namesakes of our streets are. And my project parameters, I looked at San Antonio and surrounding counties, mostly because David P. Green perfectly lined those out for me in his book. And those are the history of the namesakes that I have access to at the moment. And so that means that another parameter is that I was only looking at the street names for which we do know the namesakes of. And I believe it's time for me to share my screen. So let's do that. Let me go ahead and share this screen just to show you my, can you see that screen yet?
Not yet, but it is coming now.
Okay, perfect.
We'll just
So
give it. Now I can see it. Thank you.
yay. Okay. So right now I have 20 streets mapped, and this is what it's looking like, San Antonio. All the red streets are streets that I have verified their namesakes are enslavers. I have one in orange just because I'm a little iffy on that namesake, and I wanted to make a disclaimer on that. But this is how it's going so far. My main finding is that once you zoom in downtown, you're gonna see a lot more street names named after enslavers, which says something very interesting about our city, I think. Um, so let me see here. Um, Dr. Van Hoy, would you like to pick a street
Yeah,
name that you see here on the left? and we
I
can
think
go ahead and dive into that.
I think actually, shall we just start with Arnold because that's such
Sure.
a story for people anyway.
hmm So I have Arnold down here. As you can see, the street is mapped. It's kind of far out here. Um, but as you can see on the left, I have the namesake is Hendrik Arnold. He was our first Black Texas Ranger, and he enslaved his own daughter, Harriet. And so Harriet, I just have a name plate there, but here is the bill of sale. If you can see in the middle, it says Harriet. Um,
About
it's
17 years of age.
yes,
Mulata, slave, named,
exactly.
yeah.
hmm And that was the only slave I found for him, or enslaved person I found for him, and so that went in for his evidence.
Excellent. How about Coker? I know there's lots of
Mhm.
things. Coker. That,
Yes,
that
so
well,
we
yeah.
have East, West, and North Coker Street.
Mhm.
Yes, we do. So let's look at West. That's where I put everything, all the evidence. So I have John Coker as the namesake. He's credited with just the idea to destroy the bridge at San Jacinto. And I found one enslaved person, Robert. He was 26 years old. Here's our bill of sale for Robert. Um, let's
Negro
see.
Robert, aged about, yeah.
Yes. And then here's the rest of it, 26 years old.
Heart and sound mind and body and a slave for life. Yep. So that's 1863.
hmm
Excellent. Wow. Thank you so much. Very
Yeah.
clear document too.
hmm and I do have more streets that I am looking at that I will add to it as I gather that evidence. I am also working on this, I guess you would call it a master document. Let me scroll up here.
That's going to be very valuable for, say,
And right, and I'm very excited about that. As you can see, it's a table of contents, and then I can just click to the street name, and I have gathered the bills of sale. Um, and it continues and continues and goes on and on. So yes, I'm very excited about it.
nice. Well, can we see one of the examples of your different sources? We've seen the bills of sales very
Right.
presented.
Let me, I believe I have for Arciniega, I
Yep.
have his tax rolls.
Oh,
So
no.
here's our 1841 tax rolls. Gorgeous document, very crisp, very exciting. Um, but let's find the cross section here where we can find Arciniega.
There it
Here
is.
he is. Oh,
Arciniega.
Arciniega.
There it is.
And
And
then 19. Or
19, one
I'm
enslaved,
sorry, wait, let me make it. I'm sorry. That is a large overestimation. It's a one.
one enslaved
One,
person.
and then I believe actually, here, let me zoom out and see what I recorded. So we have the three. So this
Oh,
one's
it's
actually gonna be, they're labeled by age. So
yes.
it's one and then two more at a different age bracket.
Great. Go. Can we see the age brackets? That's already
Sure.
interesting. Okay.
So, I believe that's under 15, we have one, and then over 15, we have two.
He grows under 15 years of age. So that's one. That's the infant.
Yes,
And he grows over 15 years of age. So it doesn't even give gender.
right.
And, doesn't even give gender an exact age. But fortunately, you were able to find that. Where did
Yes.
you find that additional information?
Mhm. We have bills of sale for that. So we were
Excellent.
able to line them up pretty nicely.
So I have a last question on this particular Arciniega case.
hmm
So I appreciate you sharing that because some people are of the understanding that Hispanics weren't enslavers, but in fact,
Right.
so were. And
hmm
and also, you can we get a time range here? So you're finding them at what date in the bill of sale, and then what date in the
Right. Let's see. So this was our 1841 tax rolls.
yeah.
You know that for sure. I don't know a date off the top of my head for these bills of sale.
See if we can dig it out. because that there the question would be, is this a different set of people? Yeah, that
Right.
or is this the same set of people? Let me see if we can find it. Don't you love it when I throw you from the left field here?
Not
Uh,
sure I'm seeing a date here.
yeah, we could maybe in your notes though, actually. The fact that it's A2, volume A2 means that it's
Hmm.
pretty early. So
Right.
that does help confirm that it is the same set of folks.
I can definitely go back into the county clerk's office and
Might
see
be
when
able
that was dated.
800 so 850 some dollars shall be paid to the said Wilson Biddle. Is that what that's saying?
I think it might be Riddle.
Riddle. Oh yeah. And the years of our Lord. Hold it. Here we go. 1841. Ah.
Wow, exactly. That's
Oh,
exciting.
wait, let's see if we can find the month. January. This this second day of January in the year of our Lord 1841. Okay, so these people are being bought by Miguel Arciniega, and he's paying William Riddle or
Hmm.
Riddle? Wilson Riddle, and then we find him being taxed on them a few months later. Excellent,
Right. Thank
excellent.
you.
Huh, because now we know um that he didn't turn them around immediately. He still
Hmm.
taxed on them a few months later, and
Right.
we people upon whom he's being taxed, he just acquired. This isn't like
Hmm.
a an enslavement that predates, say, the Alamo or something.
Right. Right.
Nice find. Well, I really appreciate your work here and the beautiful range of sources that you're offering to
You.
our project. And that map is just going to be great. Can you
Hmm.
speak to maybe next steps or where you hope somebody else maybe, or crowdsourcing opportunities, or where you hope the project will go after you graduate and start teaching in your own classroom?
Right. So I think a logical next step is kind of expanding. Well, I have a lot of streets to still get to, so I'm going to continue on those to round out the semester. But I would suppose going further outside, I think it'd be interesting to see major cities in Texas. Uh, and I know we have another student in our class working on what was the trail, the Underground Railroad in Texas. That would kind of be interesting to
Yep.
see
Camino
which
Real de Texas, yeah.
exactly which cities on those on that trail are. I don't know. I think that would be kind of an interesting intersection between our work, but also we have a lot of school names and parks that are named after enslavers, so that would be interesting as well. And I know you gave me the idea of introducing this to my students and them helping me with it. And I definitely believe that this is something that I could teach to my students and would really drive home the slave history of San Antonio.
Excellent. I think that's a wonderful idea. Let
Mhm.
me see if there's anything we can help you with, or at least acquaint your audience with on the. I appreciate your discretion and your judiciousness in making orange that last row.
Mm.
Just end with that one so that
Mhm.
our audience can see that you and your peers are very careful and not
Right.
to judgment. Yeah.
And I think it's important to point out how large this street is. It would be a really nice addition for it to be bright red, but it wasn't. This was John McCullough. He was a Presbyterian missionary. He moved out of San Antonio actually in 1849 because I believe he had struggles with his mission. Um, but this is our 1850 slave schedule. And if you zoom in here, you see John McCullough um, with one slave, one enslaved person. And so
A
I don't
15.
know. I just felt
Yeah.
like I couldn't pinpoint that this was the John McCullough that the
Mhm.
street was named after, and so I put that orange. And there's also a disclaimer
Yeah.
on the bottom here.
That is very classy and gives us faith in your
Thank you.
yeah. And of course, that is such a major thoroughfare. It goes straight down.
Yes,
So that is a big one. So we will be real careful, and next semester we can help you push that inquiry.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriella, for
Mhm.
joining today, and our audience for engaging our students in their research. And appreciate your contribution.
Yes, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I'll let you stop sharing your screen so you can say goodbye to everyone.
Mhm. Okey doke.
And also, if you have any acknowledgments or anything like that that you want to share, if anybody helped you with a mapping tool, or you're
Right.
a loner, so I know you can do all stuff else, but
Well, definitely thank you to you, Dr. Van Hoy. I know you shared this mapping tool with me. I wasn't quite sure where I was going to, I guess, host this map. So it was a great tool. I'd also like to thank David P. Green and Ed Johnson. Their books were immensely helpful to me. And I also got a lot of my information from Family Search. So, yes.
excellent. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.